Judge Vanderbeek, court is now in session. Judge, this is the case of the Hawkins.
Thank you.
Yes.
You all may be seated. Okay. Mr. Hawkins, you brought this case before the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's going on?
I just recently found out that she's just decided to retire now, and she's getting severance pay. And
She just decided. Wait a minute, let me stop you. She just decided to retire. So she's still.
The courtroom session begins, and the judge calls the case to order. The typical procedure of starting the session involves ensuring that everyone is seated and ready for the hearing. The case at hand involves Mr. and Mrs. Hawkins, and we are about to dive into their child support dispute. The judge invites everyone to sit down, and Mr. Hawkins is given the floor to explain why he has brought the case to court. This is the initial moment where the key issue will be raised.
I just decided to retire. I just found out that she was retiring. I knew she was close to retirement time, so but I didn't know she was retiring now.
So she works a job.
Yeah, she's a teacher.
She's a teacher, and she has a severance package as well?
Yes.
She's received. Okay, do you know how much it is? Or is there something I have to ask her?
You can say my name.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Excuse me. Let me address him, okay?
Okay.
I'll come to you.
Mr. Hawkins begins by explaining that his ex-partner has recently retired, and he's discovered that she's receiving severance pay. The judge immediately asks for clarification about whether she just decided to retire recently, highlighting that there was no prior indication of this decision. This becomes an important point because it could affect the financial situation and, therefore, the child support obligation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Well, it's around $20,000.
Around $20,000, okay.
Yes. I'm not sure the exact thing because it's not mine, so.
How many kids do you all have?
We have one.
One child?
Yes,
Okay.
one little girl.
Okay, one little girl. How old is she?
17.
17? Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. You almost have her out the house.
Taking her butt to the military.
Okay. Ma'am, how much is the severance pay that you have?
The judge inquires further, asking if Mr. Hawkins knows how much the severance package is, as this will directly affect the child support calculations. This is crucial because severance pay can be considered part of the income when determining how much a parent should contribute to child support. The ex-partner acknowledges the severance payment, stating that it's approximately $20,000. However, she is unsure of the exact amount because the severance is not directly in her name, which...
Well, it is,
What amount is it, ma'am?
it's 25,000,
Okay. And how much are you making as a teacher right now?
52, thereabouts. Not as much as him, though.
How much does he make? Why are you
He's
talking to
so
him like that? Why are you referring to him like that?
Well, Chris is just, he's just a great guy.
The judge asks how many children are involved, and Mr. Hawkins explains that they have one daughter, who is 17 years old. This is significant because a 17-year-old is close to adulthood, and child support calculations may change once a child reaches the age of majority or the agreed-upon age for support. The judge asks about any additional income, and Mr. Hawkins's ex-partner reveals that she receives $25,000 in veterans' pay.
As well, he's very smart. Aren't you, Chris?
Okay, do you guys, do you all need to be here today? It sounds like you have other business that you probably need to attend to.
No, Your Honor. This,
You
we
still
broke
have my
up
number.
quite a while ago.
Okay.
I'm remarried now.
Okay, so
I think this is just some theater going on. So
ma'am, are you aware that he's married?
I've heard some.
This adds another layer of financial resources that can be factored into the child support calculation. The judge probes into the financial situation of Mr. Hawkins's ex-partner, asking how much she earns as a teacher. She states that she earns about $52,000, but then comments that it's not as much as Mr. Hawkins. This leads to some tension as she addresses Mr. Hawkins, calling him a great guy and praising his intelligence, which seems to complicate things emotionally. The judge tries to redirect the conversation, pointing out that personal matters like Mr. Hawkins' relationship
that he's married?
I've heard some talk.
Okay. He just told you he's married.
Oh,
Okay, so we're going to stick to why we're here. We're not here for you to tell your love story about him, okay? This is for us to talk about you paying child support. Now, your daughter, who does she live
our
with?
love child. Yes.
Okay, your love child. Who does your love child live with?
Chris.
Okay, and she's been living with Chris, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Relationship status are not relevant to the child support discussion. The courtroom is focused on determining child support and not discussing past relationships. The judge confirms where the child is living. Mr. Hawkins has custody. He further explains that he has been receiving child support payments of $227 per month, which he has been putting into a trust for the child. This is an important detail because it shows that Mr. Hawkins has been managing the child support responsibly, setting it aside for.
And since she's been living with you, Mr. Hawkins, have you been receiving any type of child support?
Yes, we have. It's around $227 now.
Okay.
And I've been just putting that in a trust for our daughter, so she'll be able to get that once she's older.
Okay.
So I'm just right now just wanting this money, so it goes to her. So when she ends up leaving, go and do what she has to do, she has money. So it's.
Mr. Hawkins explains that he is not trying to profit from the child support. Rather, he is saving it for the child's future needs, such as when she goes off to college or becomes an adult. This shows his commitment to his daughter's future, ensuring that she has some financial security. The judge begins the child support calculation, using the $52,000 yearly income as a basis. She then provides the gross and net income amounts, breaking down the financials to arrive at an accurate.
Okay.
It's just to help support my daughter.
Well, I hope you wouldn't, because she seems pretty infatuated with you. Ma'am, so what I'm going to do is calculate your child support, okay? So your child support I have at the $52,000 a year. That's what you currently make as a teacher.
Yes.
Okay. Your gross is $4,400. And then that brings your net down to $3,653.78, okay?
The judge continues with the calculation, informing Mr. Hawkins' ex-partner that the severance pay she received can also be considered part of her income. The other party seems confused, but the judge reassures her that this is allowed under the law. The judge asks if the other party understands the calculations. She explains that while she may feel the income isn't a lot, child support is based on income, and anything considered income can be factored into the child support calculation.
Are you taking notes and following me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we have your severance pay. I can deem that as income as well. Okay. Yes, I can. You looking real confused, but I can, and I am. Okay. So $25,000. We have your gross at $2,100. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then your net at $1,823.23. Okay. Do you understand? Is there anything wrong with the numbers?
Well, I'm a teacher, so.
The judge continues, calculating the total combined net income and acknowledging that both parties have provided health insurance for the child. Since the child is nearly an adult, the need for ongoing child support is nearing its end. The judge observes the emotional dynamic between the parties, which could make the process even more challenging. However, the focus remains on the legal calculations, and the judge offers a moment of lightheartedness by commenting on how the situation is affecting the parties emotionally.
50, that's not a lot of money that I live on. You understand, I'm sure.
Well, I understand, but I also understand that this child has been living with Mr. Hawkins, and you understand that child support is based on a calculation, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Okay. And any income, anything that is considered income it can be calculated in terms of calculating what your child support should be. You understand that?
The judge provides a final breakdown of the child support calculations and estimates the amount Mr. Hawkins would be required to pay. This is where the calculation becomes more straightforward, and both parties are asked if they agree to the year amount. The judge concludes the case with a final order, agreeing to a child support payment of $200 per month, which both parties accept. The case is settled, and the courtroom begins to clear.
Yes.
Okay. So based on that, I have a combined net of $5,477.01. Yes, ma'am. And then that brings, well, let me back up. I see here that you all both carry health insurance on the child.
Yes.
Okay, double insured. Okay, so you all just maintain that. After a while, she'll fall off anyway because she'll be an adult. So I have your child support amount at $1,095.40. But I also heard you. Are you okay, ma'am?
We now move to the educational segment, where Vonda Bailey, the lawyer, will break down the legal aspects of the case that just unfolded. This part is crucial for viewers who want to understand the legal principles involved in child support calculations. Vonda sets the stage for the educational portion by explaining what will be covered. She promises to explain how the various financial details discussed in the case, like severance pay and teacher salaries, are handled under Texas child support law.
You know what? I'm not even about to entertain that. I shouldn't have asked. That was the wrong question. I do apologize. Mr. Hawkins, you did say that the two of you were cordial.
Yes, it's
Okay, because what I did, I also calculated what your child support would be a month as well because of how you all, I mean, your child is an adult, right?
No.
So based on what your child support would be, it would be like $871. Based on, the documentation that you turned in as a...
Vonda starts the analysis by addressing the case that just unfolded, providing clarity on how different financial factors were considered when determining child support. Vonda explains the scenario where a parent has multiple income sources like a severance package and a regular job. The question is whether both can be considered in calculating child support. Vonda confirms that severance pay, even if it's sitting in a savings account, can be considered income when calculating child support. It's important.
Police officer, right? Does that sound right? Is that pretty accurate?
But I don't want too much stress on her because apparently it's...
Just don't look at her. Just keep looking at me.
So,
yeah, because it's creepy for me to even see it on my peripheral.
I can just do with $200. It's going to go to her.
$200?
She's got another year. It's $200.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is order child support at $200 by agreement of the parties, okay?
Yes.
All right, is there anything else? Ma'am?
Vonda explains that the court has the authority to consider both the regular salary and severance pay as part of the overall income when determining the child support amount. This reinforces how the legal system calculates fair child support based on all available resources. Vonda adds an important piece of advice. Parents can agree on a child support amount outside of court if both parties feel that it's in their child's best interest. This flexibility in the system allows parents to work together, and Vonda wraps up with a call to action, encouraging viewers to share their own experiences and engage with the channel. She reminds the audience that the show is designed to bring real-life child support cases to the forefront, providing valuable lessons for everyone involved. The show ends with applause and music, signaling the conclusion of another episode. Viewers are left with a deeper understanding of how child support works in Texas and are encouraged to stay engaged with the channel for more insights and legal breakdowns.